Good morning to all. I am Dr. Manish Puntambekar from Department of Management, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Today's topic we shall going to cover is the liquidation of companies, under which we shall going to learn provisions of Companies Act to prepare liquidator's final statement of account. So my dear students, proceedings to our session with its meaning to enhance our basic comprehension of liquidation of companies. Now, meaning of liquidation. The word liquidation is used for winding up by many persons. It is the process in accounting by which a company is brought to an end. The assets and property of the company are redistributed. Sometimes it is also referred as winding up or dissolution. Liquidation is meant by which the dissolution of a company is brought about and its assets realized and applied in payment of its debts, and when all debts are paid, the balance, if any remaining, is paid back to the members in proportion to the distribution made by them towards the capital of the company. Liquidation of company can take place under both the cases, mainly when the company is insolvent and when the company is not insolvent. Now, mode of winding up. Section 270 of the Companies Act 2013 lays down that the winding up of a company may be either by the National Company Law Tribunal or voluntary. The first part, which is winding up by the tribunal, that is called compulsory winding up of the company. The following cases are included in this type of winding up of the company. First, unable to pay debts, special resolutions, action against national interest, if company becomes sick, fraudulent and unlawful purpose of affairs, default in filing statement or returns. Part 2, voluntary winding up. When members and creditors of a company decide to wind up a company without intervention of the tribunal, it is known as voluntary winding up of a company. It is very common because there are not so many restrictions in this type of winding up. Circumstances in which company may be wind up. The first is as a result of expiry of duration, and second as a result of special resolution. Now, we will try to understand liquidator's final statement of account, which is prepared by the liquidator on behalf of company. Every liquidator prepares a statement of account at the end of each year of the winding up of the company. At the end of the last year of winding up, he prepares an account which is known as liquidator's final statement of account. This account mostly contains the following particulars. First, amount realized by him. Second, payment of various liabilities. Third, distribution of surplus, if any. Amounts realized by the liquidators. Following amounts are realized by the liquidator at the time of winding up of the company. First, to realize amounts from the debtors of the company and the sale proceeds of the assets of the company. Then, to realize surplus from fully secured creditors. Third, to make calls on the contributories and to realize amount from them. Now, payments made by the liquidators on behalf of company. Payments are made by the liquidator in the following order. First, payment to fully secured creditors. Second, legal expenses. Third, remuneration from the liquidator. In this remuneration from the liquidator, there are two conditions under this. The first condition is remuneration on assets realized, that is, whenever liquidator realized assets on behalf of company, he will always be entitled to receive such commission from the company. And second, calculation of remuneration of the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Now, fourth point is expenses of liquidation or cost of winding up. These are the formal expenses at the time of winding up of the company which are to be paid by the liquidator. Next, number 5, payment to such debenture holders or creditors to have floating charge on the assets of the company. Then, payment to unsecured creditors including preferential creditors, and finally payment to shareholders. Now we will understand pro forma of liquidator's final statement of account at the time of winding up. Here this is the format for all of you. Please try to understand. It is very interesting and very simple to understand. So please try to understand this. There are two sides. The first side is receipt side and second side is payment side. As far as this receipt side is concerned, first of all, at the top we must take into consideration cash in hand and cash at bank. Actually, both these cash balances have not been collected or recovered by the liquidator. Both these balances had already been there in the company books. Now, next is amount realized from the sale of assets, that is land and building, plant and machinery, furniture, inventory, trade receivables, etc. After collecting all these assets in the market, it means when liquidator will sell all these assets on behalf of the company, he will recover the amount from sale of assets. Now, the next receipt will be surplus amount received from secured creditors. Sometimes company borrows some money and company keeps on depositing some securities as a mortgage. If suppose the value of this mortgage is more than the loan amount, the difference will be recovered by the liquidator as surplus. In other words, it is also called surplus from securities. And finally, some calls amount from shareholders may be recovered by the liquidator, because suppose if some shareholders did not pay their money at the time of calls, so it is called calls in arrears. So finally, at the time of winding up of the company, it is the responsibility of the liquidator that he must recover this calls in arrears from the shareholders on behalf of the company. Now we will move on the opposite side, that is payment side. In payment side, first of all, legal charges are paid. After this, liquidator's remuneration will be paid by the company. But as far as this liquidator's remuneration is concerned, it includes 4 types of remuneration. The first is remuneration on fixed assets. Second, some percentage on amount realized from assets. Third, percentage on amount paid to creditors, because this is also the responsibility of the liquidator that he must pay the amount to creditors. So, this is also work done by the liquidator. So, he is always entitled to receive commission on this transaction. And fourth, percentage on amount paid to shareholders on behalf of company. When he will pay the amount back to shareholders, he will also entitled to receive such commission on this amount. After remuneration, now liquidation expenses or cost of winding up will come. Some formal expenses are incurred by the liquidator at the time of liquidation. So, on behalf of company, he always incurs these types of expenses. Therefore, these expenses will also be deducted from the total receipts. Then debentures come. Debenture holders or other creditors having a floating charge on the assets of the company. So, this is the responsibility of the liquidator to repay the amount of debenture holders with their interest. After debenture holders payment, preferential creditors come. Preferential creditors are those creditors whose payment is paid in first preference before the payment of unsecured creditors. Therefore, this preferential creditors must be paid by the liquidator in first preference. Preferential creditors generally include government dues, taxes, etc. After preferential creditors, unsecured creditors come. Unsecured creditors are always paid after the payment of preferential creditors. Then shareholders come. In shareholders, first of all, preferential shareholders will be paid their amount, and then finally equity shareholders will be paid their money back by the liquidator. Now students, we will try to understand one numerical questions. Let's see. X Limited Company went into liquidation on 31st December 2013. Its capital is divided into 10,000 equity shares of 50 rupees each. Its assets and liabilities on this date were as follows. Cash in hand rupees 750, realized from inventory rupees 29,600, from trade receivables rupees 49,200, from furniture rupees 1,050, investments with bank for overdraft rupees 4,900, unsecured creditors rupees 53,775, preferential creditors rupees 5,295, bank overdraft rupees 4,000. 6% debentures having a floating charge on which interest has to be paid up to 30th June 2013 worth rupees 44,000. Bank, after deducting its amount from investments of rupees 4,900, gave the surplus to the liquidator. Debentures were paid on 30th June 2013 with interest. Remuneration of liquidator, that is 3% on net amount realized, excluding the amount given to the secured creditors but including cash in hand. 2% on the amount paid to unsecured creditors excluding preferential creditors. Cost of liquidation rupees 1014.75. Now we have to prepare here liquidator's final statement of account, and finally we have to find out the amount paid to unsecured creditors. Now student, we will just try to understand the solution of this numerical question. As far as this liquidator's final statement of account is concerned, already we have discussed that there are two parts, that is receipt side and payment side. This receipt side here include assets. So, this asset is what? Total amount has been received from sale of assets. The first is cash, that is 750, trade receivables 49,200, inventory 29,600 and furniture 1,050. So, all these assets have been sold by the liquidator. So, he has made his efforts to recover this money from sale of assets. Then surplus from securities worth rupees 900. This surplus from securities has been recovered worth rupees 900 by the liquidator. Now, we will try to understand how this 900 rupees has come. Actually, 4,900 was the value of security, and against it the bank loan or bank overdraft was borrowed worth rupees 4,000. So, the value of security is more than the amount of loan. Therefore, here it is 900 rupees is left as surplus, and this will be shown in the receipt side as surplus from securities. So, here we see 81,500, we have calculated this amount here, and this is the total of receipt side 81,500. On the other hand, now in payment side we will try to understand how to make the payments out of the available balance of rupees 81,500. 500. Liquidator's remuneration, the first and most important part is liquidator's remuneration here. It has already been given in the question that liquidator is entitled to receive 3% commission on assets sold by him. So, actually this 3% of this 81,500 rupees, that is amounted to rupees 2,445. Second remuneration, this is 2% on the amount. So, we have to discuss here whether this 2% remuneration should be given on what amount. Already in the question it is given there that 2% commission must be given on the amount paid to unsecured creditors. So, now we will understand what is the amount of unsecured creditors. As we do not know right now the amount, what amount should be paid to the unsecured creditors, therefore, we will leave it. After some time, I will just tell you how to calculate this 2% remuneration on the amount which should have been paid to unsecured creditors. So, after this commission, now next is expenses of winding up, which has already been given here 1014.75. Here in this question, 6% debentures having a floating charge and on which interest has to be paid up to 30th June 2013. So, total amount of debentures, it is given 44,000 and the payment has been made up to 30th June. So, ultimately we have to pay 6 months interest from 1st January. So, it has already been shown in working notes. Please see in working note number 4, the amount of debentures, it is 44,000 into rate of interest is 6%, that is 6 by 12 and half year's interest, therefore, we have done here half year's interest. So, it comes 1,320. This is 6 months interest of debenture holders and 44,000 was principal. So, it comes total 45,320 which has been paid to debenture holders. After debenture holders, now the next liability is creditors. As far as the creditors are concerned over here, total creditors are given here. Let us see what amount of creditors. Under creditors, first of all we will have to pay the amount to preferential creditors, that has already been mentioned in the question, worth rupees 5,295. After payment of preferential creditors, next come unsecured creditors. Now, finally, we will have to calculate the amount which is left after payment of all these things from the total receipts. Let's see how to calculate it. Here in working note number 7, please see rupees 81,500 which is the total receipt side, total of receipt side, minus we have deducted here 2,445, 537, the total receipt side is rupees 81,500. Now we will deduct here 2,445 rupees which has already been deducted as 3% liquidators commission, then 1,014 rupees 0.75 paisa, it has been incurred as expenses of winding up, then amount of debenture holders worth rupees 45,320. After this payment of debenture holders, already we have paid amount here to preferential creditors also worth rupees 5,295. So, ultimately the amount is left only 26,887.50. This is the amount which can be paid only to unsecured creditors, but before the payment of unsecured creditors, it includes liquidators one more remuneration, that is 2%. Therefore, we will calculate this 2% commission of Mr. Liquidator on this amount of rupees 26,887.50. Now, the amount is left here 27,425.25 after making payments from total receipts, which includes 2% commission of Mr. Liquidator also. So, we will calculate this 27,425.25 into 2 divided by 102. It comes 537.75. We had already left this 537.75 rupees as a commission of Mr. Liquidator, because at that time we did not know what was the amount to be paid to unsecured creditors. Now we know the amount which has to be paid to unsecured creditors, so we can easily calculate this 2% commission of Mr. Liquidator, which has already been calculated, worth rupees 537.75. After calculating this 537.75 as commission of Mr. Liquidator, we will deduct this 537.75 from this 27,425.25, so that we can come to know finally what amount is left to be paid to unsecured creditors, and that is 26,887 rupees. So, it has already been paid to the unsecured creditors finally. But unsecured creditors amount was rupees 53,775, out of which we could pay only 26,887. It means it is not the full and final payment to the unsecured creditors. Whenever we will have sufficient amount in near future, we will pay them the remaining amount. Now, one more question I just taken into consideration here to make all of you understand. A Limited went into voluntary liquidation with following liabilities. First, secured creditors rupees 20,000, securities realized rupees 25,000. Second, preferential creditors rupees 6,000. Third, unsecured creditors rupees 30,500. Liquidation expenses rupees 252. Liquidators remuneration 3% on the amount realized and 1.5% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Rupees 26,000 were realized from various assets, and this amount does not include those securities which are with the secured creditors. Prepare liquidator's final statement of account. Liquidator is entitled for a remuneration on amount realized on all the assets, including those which are with the secured creditors. Let's start to understand how to solve this question. Now students, we will try to understand this liquidator's final statement of account. In receipt side, first of all, 26,000 rupees has been recovered from sale of assets, and then surplus from securities. You see in this question, there are total secured creditors worth rupees 20,000, against which securities realized rupees 25,000. It means there is a difference of rupees 5,000, which is called surplus from securities. So, this amount has also been recovered by the liquidator on behalf of company. So, here it comes 26,000 plus 5,000, here 31,000 is the total receipts which has been recovered by the liquidator. Now, payment side. In payment side, liquidator's remuneration come. Here 3% on rupees 51,000. Actually, this 51,000 is what? For this purpose, we have to understand this 3% commission. So, liquidator's remuneration, it is already given in the question, 3% on the amount realized and 1.5% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Here, total amount has been recovered by the liquidator from all the assets except fully secured creditors, rupees 26,000. Apart from it, he has also recovered fully secured creditors amount, that was rupees 25,000. In other words, we can say that was the amount of security. So, ultimately liquidator has made his efforts to collect the amount of securities. So, it comes total 51,000 rupees, that is 26,000 plus 25,000. So, he is entitled to get 3% commission of this 51,000 that has already been calculated in working notes worth rupees 1,530. Then it is given in the question 1.5% on the amount distributed to unsecured creditors. Here preferential creditors are given rupees 6,000. As all of you know that preferential creditors are also the part of unsecured creditors. So, we know this 6,000 has been paid to the unsecured creditors. So, we can easily calculate this 1.5% of this 6,000 which has been calculated worth rupees 90 in working notes you can see. After calculation of this commission, liquidation cost will come. So, we see here 1530 rupees plus 90, it comes total 1620, that is the total remuneration paid to the liquidator. After liquidator's remuneration, liquidation cost will come, that is 252, which has already been deducted from total receipts of rupees 31,000. Now creditors, preferential creditors rupees 6,000 we have paid. After preferential creditors, unsecured creditors will come. Unsecured creditors, to find out the amount to be paid to unsecured creditors, now for this purpose we will check here working notes. In working note number 5, total receipts it is 31,000 minus total payments 1530 plus 90 plus 252, that is liquidation cost, plus 6,000 rupees paid to preferential creditors. So, all these payments will be deducted from this 31,000 rupees worth of total receipts. So, finally, we will have 23,128 rupees, and that is the amount which has to be paid to unsecured creditors. But this amount includes liquidator's remuneration also, that is 1.5% in condition number 3. So, this 23,128 into 1.5, we will calculate 1.5% commission of this 23,128 rupees. So, finally, this amount will come 341.79. Out of this 23,128 which we have already calculated, that is the amount which has to be paid to the unsecured creditors, out of which this 341.79 which is the liquidator's remuneration which has already been included there. So, now we will deduct this amount and finally, we will find 22,786.21, which will be the final amount will be paid to unsecured creditors, and we had to pay 30,500 rupees according to the question to the unsecured creditors, but we could pay only 22,786.21. It means we can say, in other words, out of 1 rupee we could pay them only 75 pice. So, my dear students, today we understood how to prepare liquidator's final statement of account according to the provisions of the Companies Act. I hope you might have enjoyed the session. Meet you soon in the next video. Goodbye. God bless you all. Thank you.